So right now, I am in Haikyuu Legends, and I'm going to teach you guys how to use this steel block ability. Now, a lot of you guys might have gotten this ability and then think, well, I have no idea how to use it, right? Let's say I'm a ball right here, and then I press steel block. Well, the ball's clearly not getting blocked, right? You know, maybe if I jump up into the air and I press steel block, it's just nothing's happening. And I just have a blue glow or aura around me. So how do I actually go and use this block? Well, first and foremost, you're going to need to charge it, right? Either with, doing different plays to charge it up. But in practice mode, which I'm in right now, then I'll have a maxed out steel block down here, right? Now, next up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a ball. So you normally use this steel block when the enemies go and then they, spike it over like that, right? Now, a normal block, I have my block on Q, which is kind of weird, different from you guys probably. But anyhow, when I go and I block, this is what it looks like normally, okay? I'm going to time it. And as you can see, it just, lobs the ball over. If I face this direction, it just lobs it over in that direction. But it's kind of like setting it towards them in the sense, if the enemies, they're all playing super forward, then a block could set them very far back, right? Like I could go, okay, sorry, I mistimed that. I could go like jump up, block, and with the momentum, as you can see, the ball travels much, much further than if I had very little momentum and I just block, right? So, anyhow, how to use a steel block now. It's like an upgraded version of the block. It's like between a spike and a block. Now, why would I ever use a steel block then instead of a spike? Well, if I have a ball set towards me, right, then I'll spike it over. Sorry, that was a bad spike. But either way, if I have a ball set towards me, then I'll spike it over. But otherwise, then I'll use a block because the spike's radius is not as big as a block. When you block, the range is so large. Like when the enemies go, they spike it over, you can block, and then there's a much bigger area compared to the much smaller area when you spike. Now, onto the meat and potatoes of this video. So, I'm going to press steel block, right? I'm going to launch the ball into the air, and I'm going to just use a block. Now, there's one thing that you guys need to know, or a couple things you guys need to know before you go into your games and actually try out this steel block, okay? So, unlike a bunch of other different things that you can do, for example, you can go angle and like you can tilt to change where the ball goes. The steel block does not work like that. So let's say, right, I'm just going to go in the middle of the court for the sake of this purpose. I'm going to activate steel block and I'm going to block. And as you can see, it's kind of like a spike. It goes straight over. Or it's like a drop in badminton, okay? Now, what if I tilt towards the back? As you can see, I was tilting towards the back there, and it looks roughly the same. Now, I'm going to go and tilt forward. Maybe I'll send the ball forward. Sorry, that was a bad one. I'm going to try again right now. It's kind of the same. Maybe it's slightly faster, but it may be a placebo effect. It seems to be very, very similar to, tilting forward, backwards, or not tilting at all. Now, what if you tilt to left and right using the keys A and D? Well, let's take a look. I'm going to throw the ball in the air, activate steel block, and the ball, it looks like it has some spin, but the ball is still going in the exact same direction. Now let's take a look. Maybe tilting the other way? No. As you can see, my character was clearly tilted when it happened, but the ball, it didn't really change. It just kind of went straight. Now, what if I look in a different direction, right? Because as we know, with a normal block, it changes. For example, I'm looking over here, it tilts, it goes to the top right corner, right? But if I look in the other corner, then it goes to that corner. So does that apply with the steel block? Well, I'm going to go get the ball up. And yep, it goes to that corner. And I'm going to try the other one. Yep, it goes to the other corner. So you can really use a steel block ability to go and then put it into open space or where the opponents are not at, right? Now, there's one last thing with the steel block. Can you apply momentum to it? As we know, with the regular block, you can sort of apply momentum to it. It always drops at like this area. So it's a little bit hard, but let's see if you can apply momentum to the steel block, okay? So I'm going to go throw it up into the air, run up. And if you look at that there, it's like a laggy steel block. right? I'm blocking, but not at the tip of my jump, kind of toward my feet because the hitbox is a little bit wonky. And that shot looked vastly different from any other shots that I've done. Now, maybe side to side, let's test it out. So I'm going to go like this. And as you can see, it kind of just goes into the direction you are facing, right? Now, of course, you can't change directions mid-air unless you're playing like Sino or something, right? So when you're going from side to side, you're still going to be steel blocking in the direction you're looking at, right? If I'm looking forwards, then I'm going to be steel blocking, aiming the ball forwards. If I'm aiming for that corner, right? Let's say I have the ball right here. Let's take a look. Aiming for that corner. As you can see, it's still going to go straight for the corner. Not because I'm going towards the right here, it's going to go and steel block towards the right. It's still going to go where my character is facing. So it can kind of trick a lot of people with that. And that's about the nuances of the steel block and how to use the steel block in Haikyuu or Volleyball Legends.